All right, we're looking at key, chroma, effect, and we're looking at green screen. And in the previous videos, we've looked at how we've added some special effects, added background videos, and all the intricacies involved. So we are going to continue to look at that because we just want to show you now how to build yourself into slides and things like that. And we've also now added some other sounds. So we added sounds to try and make it more interesting. They're under sound effects. So we did demonstrate in the previous video adding a sort of sounds around the city. So there's a city sound. We've now added other ones to give us a sort of foresty sound over here.
Here, look at that. That's unbelievable.
And then we've also added now for this part here some beach sounds.
Incredible.
So what you can do, remember, is you can adjust obviously the sound of your background sound, your effects up and down. You can do it here on the actual footage, or you can do it on the more precise settings on the top right hand side under volume, where you can adjust it as well. So you can adjust your speaking sound and the background sound to just right. But just you have to be careful sometimes that when you do put these ambient sounds in, they tend to drown out the voice, especially here because my mic is not going to pick me up totally well because we're using a mic that is sitting behind me. So again, now I'm talking a little bit away from the mic. I'm not using a lapel mic, so you need to be a little careful of that.
Okay, so yeah, as you can see, our sound effect, when he starts talking, it kind of blocks it out. So as we can do is just chop this and suddenly lower the volume. This makes for a nice little effect, as you'll see here. So we can lower it there, chop it there, and we can lower it here. So now when we play it, you'll notice it's like,
Yeah, well.
so it just suddenly quiets.
Yeah, so we created the ambience of the thing, but now when I'm speaking, we don't want the C sound to be drowning things out.
And its common name is green
Yeah.
screening.
Okay, so
Standing in this amazing environment, look behind.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to want to make this a little bit longer so we can, because you can see he's talking about the background, so we'll just, it's pretty repetitive background, so you won't notice if we repeat it at all. So if we add it there,
You can either drag it in again, or you can just Command V,
and
Command
copy
C,
it.
Command V it.
Green screening.
You'll
So
see in
now-
other times we also change the speed. You can slow down your waves slightly. You probably wouldn't also notice that too much in this particular shot.
Yeah, so now you can see he talks about how there's a green screen.
Okay, so let's actually switch across to showing you that green screen. So we're going to now use our blade again.
So let's just listen to when he stops talking about it.
To create this illusion that the person is standing in a different environment.
Okay, so now we can blade it again. So when he stops talking about the green screen, we have him back standing in the beautiful environment. So we don't have to go through all the editing.
Okay, so essentially what we want to do now is we actually want to show you the green screen. So we're going to remove the effects that have been applied to that video. So you remember we applied this chroma keying effect. So on the right hand side under settings, you can see the effects that have been applied, and we want to remove that effect from here.
So we go here,
Click on that one we've just chosen,
take off
and
the key.
we unselect.
And also we're going to want to take out the mask because, as you can see,
Yeah, so remember there were two parts to this. We added a mask and we also added a chroma effect.
yeah, so you can see right there, he's not going to be directly in line, so we might just bring him to the middle for this part. So see under transform how we have these coordinates, and if you see here we have a little back arrow. So what this will do is it's just going to remove all the effects we have put under the positioning. So if we go there, now he's back into, the camera is back, well, this screen is back into
The
where
original
it
shoot
was,
position.
yeah.
So
So
now
now,
let's have a look.
There's a green screen. That's all it is, and it's this cool technique.
yeah, so now
to create this
the
illusion that
the viewer gets to
person
see
is
what's
standing
actually
in a
going
different
on.
environment. It's actually called chroma keying.
Okay,
Now
now
we
we're
bring it
back
back.
to putting our environment back again.
Yeah, so we can just repeat this a few
So
times
Command
until,
C and Command V that as much as we like it.
yeah, so we repeat this.
Obviously, we're going to have to also eventually pull through all our sound if we want to have that little beachy, wavy thing going on.
yeah, we're going to have to add the sound. Thankfully, these things go on for quite a while, so we will actually be able to drag this until it doesn't go further. Then we're just going to have to repeat it again. But no one will notice, especially with this kind of sounds. No one's paying that much attention.
So what you can see is happening here. You end up with multiple layers, and that's why you can see it gets quite complex. Lots of clips laid on top of each other, lots of effects, and that's why it's important just to keep track of what you're actually doing.
But it's a great effect that can be used essentially to remove the green screen or whatever color it is and replace it with another image or.
Okay, so now I think what we want to do, if you listen here.
And what we want to do is show you how you can use this very powerful technique.
So he's not really talking about how he's in this new background. He's more talking about how he's using this green screen. So I think we're going to keep the green screen for now.
Yeah, so again, we're just going to use our, like we did earlier, we can use our little blade option, and we can remove out the mask and the keying.
You can even take off transforming with this little tick, so you can add it later if you really want. So now when you play,
okay, back in the studio.
Yeah.
Now there are two parts to it. The one part is obviously the studio setup, and that's actually relatively simple. Some PowerPoint slides.
Okay, so here he's talking about that he wants to like using PowerPoint slides. And
now I'm going to show you how we would normally do this if you weren't using the chroma keying. So we're going to drag in. I've got a slide that was being used. I had it set up on a computer and I could see my slide, and so this is the slide we're going to just drag in, and this is the slide I now want my students to see. So now this is traditionally how you might do it. So you're going to have that slide, and that's going to be a cutaway to it.
And so you've got the lecturer talking, so what are your options? You just put
so now
the slides on the screen and the students watch the slide.
yeah, you'll see. We're just going to show the sliding and see how much less interesting this is.
Okay, so the other option there we're talking about is sometimes you just have the person placed in the bottom corner of the slide.
Yeah, so we can even do that. Even though he's in a green screen, we can still do that. So if we go here, yeah, so let's just give an example. So if we do this and we do this, we can add this to the top there.
Okay, remember we're having to move it up because what's happening is the slide is
so
overlaying us.
We don't want this to, because if we take this out, the timing's going to be like we're going to be overlaying two audio clips. So what we actually can do is we want to copy this and then put it on top. So we can just copy that, and then if you delete this like that, you'll see it just jumps there. So rather, so let's add this to the top first.
So we're moving that clip to the top.
So we bring this to the top here. Now you can see there's one on each side.
Now we've got two of them playing.
Yeah, so what you can do is, instead of deleting, is hold down shift and then hit delete, and you'll see it just blanks it out.
Shift and backspace blanks it out. So we want to keep that gap so it keeps our timing right, and now we've moved me to the top.
So now we can change the sizes and all of that. So if we go over here,
so now we're going back to our transforming. So this is the normal way. Someone would have just probably cut themselves down to a sort of square shaped ties and stuck themselves in the corner of the slide.
And the one thing I have realized now, it's not actually transforming. That's because we have this unselected, so it's not even allowing us to use this. So now when we reselect it, we can easily go back here.
Okay, and we could obviously use now a crop effect just to crop out some of the ugly things that are happening there.
So it seems that we have added a low point, so you might see it
moves.
It moved to the side there. Okay, well, it seems to be staying still, so that's good. So this is just giving the example of how, like, we could have just had the person on the side, whatever.
Okay, again, so that's sort of okay, and a lot of people try and do that, put a little talking head on the side, but that's not what you want to do. What can be more interesting is now to actually make it appear like you're in the shot.
Shot of them talking, sitting in front of the cubic. Again, that's not as interesting. What is interesting is if you put yourself as a teacher slide. So all of a sudden behind you.
Okay, so now he talks about being inside the slide. So now we can grab this, copy this, and paste it under Command C, Command V. So now we can use our special green screening effects. Put this under.
Okay, so this is going to be our new background. So whereas we're using video backgrounds previously, we're going to use my slide, and this is something that really is a great way of getting your student attention to be a little bit better if you are using slides or similar type things.
Okay, so now we're just going to want to re-add our effects to this video.
So put our mask and our keying back on, and now all of a sudden I'm actually inside that slide, and we can now position me to be wherever we need to, etc.
Okay, so now we can move them to the side. As you can see, we still have our transforming thing selected, so let's just hit this back option. So this is going to get rid of all the previous effects we had, so now we can move him to the side without having him going a little line, which is also an option if you really want. So now let's just position him, so now when we play,
Behind the slide. So all of a sudden behind you, you're in the slide. Just like you can see my slide here.
see, now you can see
I'm
that's
in the
much
slide.
more
So what do we want to cover in
interesting.
this course?
You see, so
Well,
this is actually quite an important effect, because it allows you to try and keep the person's attention while you are talking. So that's basically your chroma keying, your green screening effect. Very powerful. You can do so many things. Hopefully what you have seen is it does take a lot of time. It is finicky, but if you're prepared to put in the time, you can create some really amazing effects. It's all within your ability. It all sits here within Final Cut Pro. It is a combination of fiddling with the videos, putting different sounds in the background, but changing transitions, transforming, understanding your layers. All of these become important in creating the green screen special effects. And additionally, as I said, it's a great way if you are trying to produce course videos to make it look like you actually are in your course content. So that becomes a great way to try and make it all more realistic. So that's green screening. It's a great way of really amping up what you're doing. We are going to look in another video at just some of the tools and things you need and the technology you need in place to get this to happen. It's not that complex. It's something that is within reach of everyone. If you've got your Final Cut Pro, it covers a multitude of sins and allows you to achieve these amazing effects. So, hope you are keeping up with this, enjoying the fantastic effects that you can implement with Final Cut Pro.